Hello guys, welcome back. Continuing learning with project integration management. In this video, we'll discuss about direct and manage project work. So direct and manage project work. This process represents the integration aspect of project executing. The project manager integrates all the executing work to achieve and produce the deliverables, right? So direct and manage project work is basically the process of performing the work defined in the project management plan and implementing the approved changes to meet the project objectives, right? So apart from executing the activities and achieving the deliverables, there are a lot of other activities that project manager performs during direct and manage project work. So let us have a look at the list of those activities. First is gathering work performance data. Work performance data, as we have already discussed about work performance data in our earlier videos, it is basically about, it basically includes the information about the completion status of the deliverables and other relevant details about the project performance, right? And this work performance data is one of the very important inputs for monitor and control process group, right? The next one is requesting changes. So whenever you execute your project, there are a lot of changes that are suggested while we execute the project. Okay, the changes can be from the stakeholders, the changes can be from the team members, or the changes can be from the project manager himself. So a lot of changes are requested during this direct and manage project work process. When all these changes are requested, these changes are directed to the change control board. They review the changes and they approve those change requests. They either approve those change requests or they reject those change requests, right? So in direct and manage project work, project manager completes the work resulting from the approved change requests. Okay. Also during project direct and manage project work, project manager has to manage people and he has to keep them engaged, right? Project manager deals with a lot of people, right? Stakeholders, team members, internal customers, external customers. There are a lot of people which are to be managed and which are to be engaged while you execute the project. He needs to perform activities to accomplish the project activities. We already discussed about it. Project manager needs to improve the process involved in the work. For example, there are some activities which are repetitive in nature, right? So whenever you perform that activity for the first time, you learn something. So the second time you perform the similar activity, obviously you would like to perform that activity in lesser time and with lesser resources. So you continuously improve the process. So improving the process which is involved in the work is also one of the very important activities of that the project manager performs during direct and manage project work. So project manager facilitates meeting and hold technical discussions with all the stakeholders. He manage risks and implement risk response activities, which we will discuss in detail in the risk management. He manages sellers and suppliers. He manages different stakeholders and manage the stakeholders engagement level. And he also establishes and manages communication channels. So this much amount of work a project manager usually performs during direct and managed project work. So you can see that most of the project time is spent here, right? Basically, project manager spends most of his time in direct and managed project work and monitoring and controlling of the project. Okay, so I hope this gives you a fair idea about direct and managed project work. Now, before we discuss about the inputs and outputs, let's discuss about some important concepts. The first one is work authorization system. The work authorization system It is basically the system for authorizing the start of the work activities. Okay, so it is a collection of formal documented procedures that define how the project work will be authorized, right? Who by what identified organizations the project work will be done, at what time the project work will be done, whether it is being done in the proper sequence, whether it is being done in the proper steps. So basically, work authorization system includes the steps, documents, tracking system, and defined approval levels needed to issue work authorizations, right? So the second important concept that we're going to discuss is corrective action. So corrective action is an intentional activity that realigns the performance of the project work with the project management plan, right? So basically it refers to an activity, you know, sometimes a specific task or a project work, it may have lost focus, or somehow it may have deviated from the pre-specified direction it was intended to take, right? So this new direction means this new corrective action should be well documented, and when it is being executed, or when it has been executed, it should turn the project in a way such that it is better aligned with the goals, expectations, and ultimate results laid out in the project management plan, right? So basically, corrective action realigns the performance of the project work in accordance with the project management plan. So the next is preventive action. So the project manager always tries to perform the activities to the best of his abilities, right? But sometimes there may be chances that he may face with some difficulties to perform those activities, right? So preventive action basically is an intentional activity that that ensures the future performance of the project is aligned with the project management plan, the future performance, right? So in case you know that some kind when you do a risk assessment, so you know that such things can happen, right? This risk can take place. So what preventive action you will take to avoid that risk, such that uh, it does not hamper your project performance, right? So preventive action refers specifically to any action or any act in which the project manager provides documented direction to perform an activity that is meant to reduce the probability of negative consequences as associated with the project risk. Okay, so the next important concept is defect repair. Generally, defect repair is a rework. Okay, so it is an intentional activity to modify a non-conforming product or product component, right? So a defect can be a fault, an imperfection, or deficiency within the specific project component. So uh, either you have to repair it, that defected component, or you need to replace it, right? So it is basically a rework that you do, and it is always an expensive affair for the project management. So let's discuss about the ITTOs of direct and managed project work. ITTO stands for inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. So let us first discuss about the inputs. The inputs which influence the direct and managed project work: project management plan, right? So the important subsidiary plans which are related for the execution of the project work, those can be, scope management plan. You need to know about the requirements before you execute the work. So you need the requirement management plan. You need to be updated about the schedule and cost. So you need schedule and cost management plan. And you also need to know about the important stakeholders which you need to manage and engage during direct and manage project work. So for that, you need stakeholder management plan, right? The second input is approved change requests. Already we have discussed about it that those requests which have been reviewed and approved for implementation by the change control board will be input to the direct and manage project work for which the work will be executed, right? So these changes can either be a corrective action or a preventive action, or it can be defect repair, which we discussed a while ago, right? So the important enterprise environmental factors for direct and managed project work can be organizational, company, or even your customer's culture. It can be the infrastructure that is provided to you for execution of the project, and importantly, it will be project management information system. Okay. So the organizational process assets that influences direct and manage project work can be project files from previous projects. It can be any standard guidelines. Okay, the communication requirements, which regarding what all communication media can be used. For example, there are many manufacturing plants where the mobile phones are not allowed for general communications, right? So communication requirements regarding the allowed communication media, record retention, in what form or in what format you can maintain your records, and various security requirements, right? So now moving to the tools and techniques of a direct and managed project work. The first one is expert judgment. So it's very obvious that project manager needs judgment and expertise, applied to all the technical and management details during this execution phase, right? So this expertise can be provided by the project manager or the team, using specialized knowledge or training, or additional expertise can also be our additional expertise is also available to the project manager in many forms. It for example, you can say the stakeholders which are your customers or suppliers and sponsors. It can be other units within the organization. It can be consultants and other subject matter experts. Okay, and it can be professional and any technical associations. So project manager and team can take help of lot of other expertise to execute while executing the project, right? The next is project management information system. Okay, so the project management information system, which is the part of an enterprise environmental factors, it provides us access to the tools such as scheduling tools, work authorization systems, and configuration management plan, right? Uh, Next is meetings. So obviously, project manager needs to conduct a lot of meetings while executing the project with the team members and important stakeholders. So the important point is that meetings should be prepared with a well-defined agenda, purpose and objective, and time frame, and should be appropriately documented with minutes and action items, right? And these minutes of meetings should be stored as defined in the project management plan, right? So now what are the outputs that are generated by uh, direct and managed project work? Obviously, the first one is deliverables, which is a unique and verifiable product or a result. You do execute the project to achieve your project deliverables. Second is work performance data, which is basically a raw data, that is, or raw observations that is generating during the execution of the project work. The examples of the work performance data uh, uh, can be uh, key performance indicators, it can be technical performance measures, start and finish dates of scheduled activities, it can be number of change requests, number of defects, actual costs and actual durations, so etc. Right? All these things can be the part of work performance data. Next is change requests, or I would say new change requests, because as you can see that one of the outputs can also be implemented previously approved change requests. So, but also while you execute the project, new change requests are also generated, right? So during execution, a lot of change requests are generated, which are either approved or rejected. And again, the work is done in the direct and manage project work itself to implement the approved changes, right? And finally, when you execute the project, you need at the end, you need to update all your project management plan and project documents. For example, you know, any new requirement has been generated, so requirement documentation needs to be updated. You need to update your project logs, any new risk which has been identified, so you need to update your risk register, or any new any new stakeholders if it has been identified, or the stakeholder engagement has been changed, so the stakeholder register needs to be updated accordingly. Okay, so as you can see the picture on your left, it very clearly defines the inputs and outputs of the direct and managed project work. So the overall inputs are the subsidiary project management plans and approved change requests, along with environmental factors and organizational process assets. And the outputs of direct and managed project work are new change requests, deliverables, work performance data, implemented previously approved change requests or corrective actions and preventive actions and defect repairs, and updates to project management plan and project documents. So time for a simple question. All of the following are parts of direct and managed project work process except the first one is identifying changes. Yes, it is a part of direct and managed project work, right? That's why new change requests are generated while you execute the project. Using a work breakdown structure, yes, of course. We'll discuss about work breakdown structure in our scope management tutorial, but work breakdown structure basically talks about the activities that we need to perform. So of course, work breakdown structure is required. It is a part of direct and managed project work. Third is implementing corrective actions. Yes, of course, because we do take actions for the approved change requests. So this is also part of uh, direct and managed project work. So the correct answer is setting up a project control system. It is not a part of direct and managed project work. It is a part of monitor and control project work. Okay. So that's it guys for this module. Please do leave your feedback comments in the comment section below. In the next module, we'll discuss about monitor and control project work. See you soon. Bye-bye.